Sorry. Sorry about that. I lost connection. It happens again. This place, like, we don't have a. I don't have a tower in my house, like outside of my community, bro. Like, there's no tower, yo. There's literally no tower, so I hate that stuff. I don't have it. And then we got into that bullshit. We had to up in that bullshit that we don't have a tower, and they keep and the 5G goes down and up. It's a pattern every day. It's a pattern every day and every day. So that's the unfortunate part. Sorry about that. Because I was talking about it on that stuff, and I'm just trying to draw Subaru right now. Natsuki Subaru. I thought I'm trying to draw like a Western version of it. But either ways, okay, I'm back. Oh my god. Okay. Test, 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 test. Yeah, it's just yeah. I say test because of the. I say test of the because the connection's pretty ass. My connection's pretty ass. Once it like between 6 p.m. down to like 9:30 p.m. it just becomes straight ass, and I start losing connection. Shit, man. Okay. Yeah, it's anyways, but like okay, if it's record at least the stream is always recorded. So I'm just gonna talk about it from the get-go. So I'm gonna keep it real with you 100%. All right. Like I said, continuing on, right? So you had a a comment on social media where I talk about how Japanese people saw black people, right? And talking about how like they were Viltrumites and shit, right? And black people had a field day with that with her, bro. And keep in mind, it's a Japanese woman, so yeah. And people had a field day with this comment because they said because the way this Japanese person said it on X was as if like he had both had a fetish or had a fear like he was like there's some Viltrumites, like then came the whole black Viltrumite thing. So then all of black Twitter and all of black YouTube, right, started making video content about them being the black Viltrumites, right, and all that bullshit. And it was such a funny field day. It was such a funny field day out of nowhere because of the rise of the migrants. The migrant crisis was rising so rapidly in Japan, and in Japan there was like there's this because of the migration and stuff, and not just that. Keep in mind they had a protest in Osaka about bringing in, I guess, like I don't know how many African immigrants there to work. Was usually for a cultural exchange, but they confused it. People thought it was like, oh, it's cultural exchange, but in reality, no, it was a permanent residency because Japan's losing people. Japan's losing population. The Japanese are losing population. The Koreans are losing population. China is losing population, believe it or not, even though it's a billion of people. They're losing, like workers. They're losing children. They're not making enough babies because of the economy is so shit right there. All of Europe, all of Japan, basically, because the birth rates are still declining rapidly in Japan. So they decided to bring more migrants, although that apparently did not work. Now keep in mind, please keep in mind around the world, okay? What I'm saying about this, right? Please don't believe that what I said is that it's the new trend that the migrant crisis just started in Japan. It never did that way, okay? Migrants has been in Japan fucking 20 years before. Mind you, there's Brazilians living in Japan and they're okay. Peruvians, Latinos in Japan, they're okay. There were Africans, a small number of African migrants living in Japan back in 2000, also involved. However, that's also being, the exposure shows about women and children involved. It's also part of the Darien Gap thing. So then things become like this concern, because it's true, bro. You're like, who are these people? Why are there so many of these people from around the world coming to my land out of nowhere? What's the permit? At first it was good, but then then it started becoming doesn't, because then became the bad apples, and the bad apples are coming in mass numbers. So that part I don't blame them about. I really don't blame these people about. I don't blame those people on that part. But since that information came in, right? Yeah, bro. Then all hell broke loose, and racial slurs came in, racial stereotypes came in, and not just that, videos, a lot of actual videos of the people of the global South, who are of my skin and 10 shades darker, acting like a bunch of fools, literally acting like a bunch of fools. So, oh shit, what happened there? You know what I mean? That happened. And then a lot of comments on social media came. And then YouTubers like Trash Taste came in, and the trash, right? And they were trying to not say it, but trying to keep it safe. But the fandom, their fans, the people that follow Trash Taste, and the people who are on 4chan, fucking A, yes, are saying blatant racist shit like usual. I'm like, it's 4chan. It's fucking 4chan, yo. You know how those people are, right? And the internet, look, everybody's racist left and right, okay? It's, you could be racist, I could be racist. A fucking pet dog and a baby can be racist with a snap of the finger, bro. This tune, Subaru, this computer will say racist shit. All right? Number one, everybody's racist. It's just culture, okay? What's happening and should be happening right now is that it's culture. All right? That's what's really that was going on. This whole macabre that's going on in the internet is all culture. But people are making it racial. That's what I said in this video. The culture war is becoming racial over anime and video games. It is. Based out of artists, based out of certain characters, right? And based out of the fandoms, like the My Hero Academia fandom, bro. Based out of the Gachakuta fandom, bro. That are actually literally just My Hero Academia fans that just move to Gachakuta, those guys. And not just that, even some of the gacha tourists too. Those same people also who like Zenless Zone Zero will also, right, will say the first season is peak. And they don't expand their minds. They really don't expand their minds. Including Chainsaw Man, right? Chainsaw Man's so big. Chainsaw Man exploded, dominated over stuff. But then the tourists came by when it came to, like I said, fan service and all that stuff. The identity politics, saying why there's no black representation. I can't, look, gentlemen, On my behalf, bro. I don't want to. I'm not trying to rank on your ass, okay? Because I had to rank. I'm defending you on this, but what I'm going to talk to you about, okay? Guys, let me say this up front. For years, all right? For years, we had so much content, so many books, and I named you books early in the stream. I named you artists early in the stream, followers, right? Of artists and characters that represent us perfectly for years, for decades. And then we had animes, right? We have animes that had black representation. Yasuke, Afro Samurai, right? We had brand new animes made in Latin America. Onyx Equinox and the Regresa de los Dioses. That's a new anime made in Peru. We had Arabian anime made for you. Yet it's ironic that the audience of our demographic would not consider that as representation or acknowledge that. Would not even acknowledge that shit. Acknowledge the creations. I recently just read Corey Kenshin's Monsters We Create. All right? He's been making things. Mugen Lord himself. Gold Digger by Fred Perry. To Dave Alvarez. Yanni Lopez. All right? Throughout history, Latinos been in the 1930s. I'm talking about history stuff, right? Latinos, a Latino man in the 1930s created the original King Kong, the original 1933 King Kong, right? That's almost 100 years ago. Almost 100 years ago. That's history. His name was Marcel Delgado. Marcel Delgado. All right? Yet no one wants to appreciate that shit. Since we want to be represented, especially black people. Black people want to think they're the CEO of melanin. Whereas Latinos, we don't really care. Honestly, we Latinos don't care. We Latinos don't care, but we also jump into this line of racism when it comes to other stuff aside from representation. That's the other thing. Because we get targeted a lot. We get stereotyped a lot. Keep in mind, we Latinos, brown skinned Latinos are without a doubt the most stereotyped, the most left out, literally the most stereotyped and the most vilified ethnic group in the face of Hollywood media, global international media. We get vilified. We only have two, back in the day, we will only have two genres that we can participate good. It's either crime, which is so many different cartel movies that's always focusing on Latinos, crime movies, or comedy. But in the most stereotypical way of comedy. Look, I'm not right. Comedy was the one genre that we tried to kind of escape ourselves from the stereotypes of being cartels ever since Scarface. But now everything's more expansive. Bro, we were in Alien. However, here's the thing too. The Latino man, right, which is me, the Latino guy, the male Latino, has always been the most vilified. We are always the most vilified. The Latina, on the other hand, which is the spicy kind, is always the side character that survives. But sometimes she be the one that dies first too. In white enrolled movies. How do we get to this? Honestly, how do we get to this? So that has been that way for years. But now we have characters. But we're talking about as characters, bro. We had characters, yo. I want to be talking about this again and again and again. You know? I want to be talking about this again too. Probably on another stream. Until like people get the attention straight about what's going on. Because it has been this, it's getting to such a point right now. You know, I'm thankful now. I finally reached 101 subscribers. That's actually a plus for me now. And man, I'm not here trying to reach like what? Like I'm not trying to be a millionaire or something like that. I don't want to talk about grifting. I mean, you want to hear about grifting? Talk to guys like Espiritu. It's just this topic that has come to this point right now. It won't be surprising, and then we're gonna have a race. We're gonna literally have a race war going on because all this is just cultural. Honestly, all this wild shit is just cultural, especially in music too. Oh my god, in music. In influence in pop, at podcasters, comedians, real celebrities, they didn't want to, right? Will call out the other for stealing each other's culture and shit, and then now that is gonna, right? Which is still staying cultural firsthand. It's still staying cultural firsthand, but now has become racial. But the rest, especially in the anime and video games, now officially it's starting to get racial. Because they're starting out to attack YouTubers now. Through the past 2 years, Chibi Reviews has been getting extremely fucking attacked. Extremely physically getting attacked. Getting threatened. People are talking shit about his, about how he lost his fiance. People are people are calling the cops on his ass. People are actually doing death threats, showing fucking emails. And it's the same as aliens from California, bro. And the people who are getting arrested it's again us. Like fuck, dog, fucking us, Latinos and blacks, man, bro. Like it's better off to call him out over the shit he's in, over his likings on the internet, which usually do. Like Gideon calls him out. Gideon calls him out. Fucking Sneeko calls him out. Noth calls him out. Including other Asians who don't like the fan service stuff on Chibi Reviews. They call him out, right? But the ones who are going after him physically are literally us blacks and Latinos. I'm like, yo, black and Latino people, you need to chill out, bro, because you're literally becoming the suspects yourself. We're always doing it. There's becoming a fatigue now. We're in a world of fatigue, and it's getting dangerous now. People are getting sick and tired of us. Mind you, too, black people, the world's getting sick and tired of you or freaking out over some shit. Right? Keep it right. Since we're the ones that created like certain subcultures, bro. Nightcore. Okay, I'm listening to Nightcore right now in the backstory. You're hearing Nightcore music, right? It was made by white people, but the culture was pioneered. It was privately formed and organized and popularized by us in secret. Of all races, of all colors. until the whole other bullshit happens. And then now we stop listening to Nightcore because people are listening to Public and they're saying, okay, only faggoty ass white kids or faggoty ass Asian kids come out. Like, dog, I'm listening to Nightcore. I have other black people that love listening to Nightcore, bro. They're willing to play Nightcore in DJ sets. Mind y'all. But the ones who are doing it are firsthand, literally like East Asians because they're the ones who would take the initiative. No, I'm not saying that we can't do it. We can't create it. We did create things, bro. Bro, we created the EDM scene. I'm going to tell you this, Code Monkey. I think you're absolutely right. And I believe it's being orchestrated by those who really run things. Yes, that's true too. You can say, people can say, oh, it's the Jews. It's the Jews. Or it's the Muslims, bro. Allah Akbar. They can say those too, right? And then it becomes the crusade is religious and all that fuck ass shit. It's been right. It's really being orchestrated. It's really being orchestrated by the fat cats who are, you know, sacrificing children, real children, not the fictional cute and funny children that you see in Blue Archive and Genshin Impact. No, actual children. Actual children. They're being eaten alive, sacrificed, and pedophilized. Right? And they're running the patterns. They're making the patterns. I mean, didn't that boor Elon Musk said that George Soros fundamentally hates humanity? But I don't. But there is some, right. However, there are some things I have to disagree with him when I'm following on this fucking internet troll that we have these days. Remember, I'm independent, dog. I'm independent. I'm not signing with anybody. I do not want to sign with anybody. I know I sound right now like I follow God. I follow like fucking Nick Fuentes, the Groypers and stuff. But no, I'm a nerd. I'm a geek. Okay. Yes, I do follow Chibi reviews, although it gets a little tiresome. I do follow guys like in theme park news, in the theme park world. I do follow Clownfish TV, but I officially unsubscribed them because they're getting too grifty, right? But I do follow. So who do I follow now? I follow Mara Eventry, who's a YouTuber. I follow Professor Prof for Darkness, who's rising in numbers. I follow JX Senpai. I follow Monte Sensei, right? And then of course, while I take my inspirations of characters drawing characters in this art style by, once again, Dave Alvarez, Trad Moore, who are Western side. I follow learning the drawing techniques by Rodrigo Gonzalez. See, and then of course, I love Iron Mouse. I do have an Iron Mouse merch, but I don't know why I threw it away. Look, Code Monkey says you have to be independent. The left and the right, yes, they are. Yes, they are. Code Monkey, do you remember 2017 Charlottesville? Write that in a comment. Answer yourself in a comment. Do you remember Charlottesville 2017? I'll be waiting. Okay, right here. Oh, okay. I think that's the part of the pattern right here. I do. Okay. We both know how the media got fabricated on that incident, on that rally. When, on one hand, right, there was a lot of Confederate flags and actual Nazi flags, right? And the alt-right and stuff. You see Pepe the Frog over there. That's one side the Vice media covered and seen and literally hear white supremacists say, you know, like criminal N-word, hard R, and Jewish communist, Islamic communist bullshit, right? On the other side too, of the other side of the coin, we actually, where we saw the Antifas, the anti-fascists, right? There were videos, especially if you look closely on National Geographic's take in the Charlottesville riots, on the Charlottesville protests, right? There were actual communist flags and anarchist tags on the shields and the literally anarchist flags too, in disguise behind gay pride flags and Black Lives Matters. When I was young, I used to, I came from a school that didn't really teach me much, and I was probably programmed to be talking about the importance of society and revolutionary, right? And I actually followed up watching Zapatistas, like histories like the Zapatista Revolution, Ruben Salazar, Cesar Chavez, because more on information on Cesar Chavez, because because I was oppressed. Yeah. Yes, I recall all that. Yeah. Okay. So I remember that time I was like, right? People were looking at one side of that stuff. And as a person, when I used to be political, until the Charlottesville thing happened. When it was that moment when I thought that I saw that it was neo-Nazis taking over the world, and until I saw the communist flags and the anarchist flags coming by and they both clashed, that's when I realized it was all a game. Mind you, it was 2017. I was in high school at the time. That's when I stopped doing politics. And it came up again in 2021 in the elections. That stuff came up again. So, and I recall, what I learned is that it was just humanity. But then again, I was lost. It was all a game, and I realized it was just humanity. And I was lost about it. So then I had to delve myself away. And then I learned about the fruition of purity of conclusions. And I learned guys like, like Wade Davis, who's an anthropologist. I learned Massaman, cultural and racial anthropology. Anthropology, which I believe should be graded in schools all across America, especially public schools. If you want to, rather than having such a racial divide and you letting alone like supremacists on both sides, both black and white supremacists being, trying to gaslight the whole minority or the other, in their information on YouTube, why not actually put anthropology, cultural and racial anthropology as an actual graded curriculum? Discipline the kids, on what's right, what's wrong. No, not just, beating their asses, right, with the sandal or the belt. No, not that. Come on, no. But teach them the plurality of things. What's the way of balance of standards and things, right? And of course, train the kids martial arts too, but don't. And the thing about what some people will talk about martial arts is like you got to know how to fight and all that stuff. No, you had to no martial artists tell the kids, right, or tell people that it is meant to form yourself and self-aware yourself. It builds you up to be more organized. No one says that. People say that about be ready for a war, but don't be a gardener in that war, which is true. It's true, but it's been fabricated to such an aggressive way that you have these hard right wing people who would take that in the militaristic kind of sense and use it as the excuse, and then right, and that becomes something insecure. So let's just say this: martial arts should be made to self-organize your well-being. You can say it's self-defense, and it should be self-defense if any means necessary, but it's to self-organize yourself because people are stressed. People need to vent out. People are hell-bent on, trying to rip each other apart, rip out the lungs of some other dude. so badly, so badly, you know? And many martial artists say no. Many martial artists say don't. I never do that because even the most talented, the most master and fastest and most badass person like me can easily lose to a gunfight. And that's true. You're gonna throw karate techniques, you're gonna throw fucking Muay Thai elbows midair against someone with a gun. Unless he's close in range, you can disarm. Yeah. But like if you're far away, nigga, you're dead. You're dead. You're dead anyways. So that has to be retaught. That has to be retaught. But however, we got bad apples on both sides, and it's not, and this time, and it's not American anymore. It's not American anymore now. Shit, man. Man, look, I ain't gonna lie to like back to the whole black Viltrumites thing. It was pretty funny, actually. I did said to myself, what happened to us Latinos? We like both Arabs, Indians, blacks. They're all getting the spotlight except us. Oh shit! and funny enough, I called the devil, and there came a literally a doujin artist or like an independent hentai illustrator, which I would have been his customer. Mind you, I would have been his fucking customer. But he said about Latinos, and it's like, hey, yo, like I have no beef with you, bro. I watch, draw, read, and anime hentai just like you, or anime too. I draw fan anime artists, and he gave me some of this passive aggressive shit upon me. Like, oh, you're so free. I wonder how you are. I'm like, dog, don't shoot the bird, bro. Now you lost my respect. Now, okay, I don't need you anymore, right? And he fucking blocked me. He blocked me. Hey, so I guess because he talks shit about Latinos causing a ruckus. Are Latinos actually causing a ruckus? Are actually Latinos causing a ruckus? I don't know. Well, that was like a month ago. Until then came the videos on that too. And it's like, okay, but not all of them. They're always focusing on the bad apples, bro. Like Asian racism is more heavier than white man Western racism. Trust me, bro. East Asians hate other East Asians. Think of it, bro. East Asians hate other East Asians, right? And all it takes is someone of another fucking ethnicity, of another continent, of another culture, way out of East Asia, to unite and say, fuck you. Hilariously. Mind you, all of Southeast Asia always bicker each other and also battle each other. Keep in mind, too, Thailand is still at war with Cambodia. North Korea is still segregated from South Korea. And China is so hell-bent, and I say hell-bent, on trying to nuke Japan. So they hate each other. And I'll be wondering too, like, there's got to be an anime about China versus Japan. Between like a Genshin Impact, Donghua versus, manhwa, anime, Hangukai ni bullshit, right? Mind you that. Lord and behold, right? And then it took the other side of the world to have them band together and call us out. And call the other races out. And comes the migrant crisis too. Mind you too, there's migrants in South Korea too. And now the war starts up with American patriots. Keep in mind too, with the Grok AI, the Grok translation, the auto translation. Like when the auto translation came out, it was like the Tower of Babylon, right? The auto translation came out. It was the Tower of Babylon. Everybody spoke one language, and it took the AI of Elon Musk to create the Tower of Babylon online. And now we start to see people understand people's comments, and it started to expose everything. It started to expose everything. So you had those wars, like I said earlier, where is, you know, Kana, like Koreans versus Southeast Asia, and Japan versus, you know, Africa and Latin America. All that now led to this. And it became, it was the North and the South, right? And again, of course, not I forgot, we're not talking about just East Asians too. We're also talking about to Europeans, absolutely 100% to the Europeans too, because of the anime profile pictures, like I talked to you about, the K-On, the Blue Archive, the cute and funnies, the free Rens, the Tanya the Evil, the Monogatari. Yes, I forget about the Bakemonogatari series. Them too. I forgot about them. The Fate as well. Those racial, those racist comments coming from them on Europe. Yeah. And I also forgot on the this other part too. The fake LARPing accounts. The fake LARPing accounts like Colonel Otaku Gatekeeper, one, right? There was one called Colonel Otaku Gatekeeper, who is apparently like because he advocates to pro like conservative Japanese politics and shit. Turns out he's actually European. Keep it funny enough, right? Turns out he's funny. He's European. Then came to Otaku Gatekeeper. Then there was another channel on X that was like apparently like a Japanese or Korean, and turns out to be another white guy trying to impersonate Japanese. Although at the same time, it depends because there's actual either the actual Japanese people saying shit about the whole immigration or the culture and stuff and racist shit there, or perhaps could be actual immigrants who are either European or us Americans, right? Moving to Japan and then say racist shit in Japan too. So keep mind you that. But since we had, right, and then on the other side you have the MAGA. We are, MAGA comments, the Black Lives Matter comments, right? We had I think we had like one that was like Native American, and that got exposed to being Indian, and it's supposed to be Nigerian. It got exposed to be anything Southeast Asian, sometimes even Peruvian said it, right? That was all MAGA, Peruvian shit. Others say like and they get exposed all sides, like Africa and South Asia. So then people start to call out all of Pakistan, all of India, all of Sri Lanka, and even pull out like news reports on Japan, news videos on Europe of just those literally black and brown being absolute like enemies, and they're trying to give out the credible evidence. It's the same thing that has just happened in the migrant crisis too, repetitively. I mean, I've seen a lot of videos of, like right now, like mass protests in England, all that stuff. All this shit's political. All this shit's political. Honestly, all this is primitive. But it has led to this part because of culture. And that too, bro. And when it comes to, and look, this is where I go up against. Look, I already talked shit about my on behalf of, for my black and brown people that had that habit. Allow me to now start talking shit on the whites and Asians. Listen, I'm fence sitting, but I'm on two sides. I already said a lot of shit on my Latinos and blacks, and even Native Americans who are definitely involved, Polynesians somewhat involved, but they are without a doubt they're probably involved, including Muslims, including Sri Lankans, right? Now on the other side, who comes attack us on the racist side? Pay attention. I said it before. We had a lot of content creators, right, who are willing to create things and make their own comics. You know how people, those same people who call us out and say, like they hate us, being part of the manga or the video games that they like that is Japanese or American, and they say, look, why don't you fucking make your own? And we say, yeah, we make our own. Those same people still call us out for making our own comics representing us because they didn't feel invited. Hilarious enough, right? And then not just that, they would choose the worst works of comics and animations. Like they found there was one called the HBCU animation, and then all those races, whites and Asians, they started saying, oh, so this is what black people only create. Oh, and then when it comes to like Mexican music, or they say, oh, like Latino music, Latinx and shit, so that's what all Latinos make? What all brown people things make? All they think is what? Shonen and superhero shit? What else you make? Right? Oh my fucking God. What about us? Well, cater to the ideology that should be tradition and storytelling. Oh, you mean cater to your storytelling, right? Cater to your shit. Because the moment we make our stuff, apparently you say is woke. Stop trying to patronize your bullshit. All right? Stop trying to patronize our bullshit and be happy with what you created. Let us create our own shit too. And don't get mad that it is that what we create, we didn't invite you in the house because you never invited us at the house. It goes in both ways. It goes in both ways. It goes in both ways. And it's ironic too. They would say when it comes to manga creators actually making a black character or making a brown character, somehow it's woke. Somehow. The same people over there, they would say it's woke. And they would say in Mario Kart that the Rainbow Bridge is woke. I'm like, are you fucking retarded? You crackers and Buddha heads are fucking retarded. Yes, I'm sorry I have to say that word. I'm sorry. That shouldn't say that. But bro, are you people retarded? It was always at Rainbow Road. Much like Samus. People say, "Oh, why did he put a bad bitch woman on there? Are we gonna advocate to wokeness on women?" I'm like, yo, Samus was always a woman through generations, bro. To be when they made the dark skin version of 2B, some people would literally say that they're just pandering to race and gender equality. I'm like, duh, it was made by the Japanese without any intention of it. If you look at the story of it, god damn. So they want to pander to their stuff, and then they want to talk about the fandom that was being created as the community of our own, for black people, for black and brown anime fans. Even though, right, depending on what they like, and then they will call them out that they say, okay, and that like tourist or hoodwink shit. Like, yes, it's true. Yes, it's true. We're tourists. We're straight up tourists, honestly, because we don't expand our minds and we don't accept the use of covering taboos. We don't accept that shit. I understand that. That's true. But to say that every one of us is that? No. I'm not a tourist. I don't only watch Shonen Jump. I'm ready to watch the Ribbon Hero that's coming out on Netflix. I already watched the Shiba Yugi series. I'm watching a romance series like Fragrant of Flowers. Then of course I'm watching Donghua animes, right? Which many people say is tourist stuff, but hey, at least I expand my mind. There's fucking I'm not only just watching Cultivation on Donghua or watching just shonen shit on Crunchyroll or some shit like that, right? Not just that, I'm drawing anime characters. I'm not even watching them anymore, too. So, LARPer alert. I'm sorry, but hey, I'm drawing. I have other things to mind about too, right? I mean, there's stuff I like, and there it is. I'm not letting that cultural boundary kind of limit me on what I like. You can I can listen to you guys. most Latinos love listening to reggaeton. I listen to sometimes reggaeton, but I'm a person that listens to electronic dance music, which is a black and brown thing that was made primarily first until it was dominated by the whites and Asians. House music, techno music was electronic, but the electronic side was made by Europeans. Now it's being dominated by the Asians. You know? That's a history that no that yet we don't know ourselves yet alone. And people are speaking out about it. People are literally speaking out about it. Literally. But we're so close, but everyone's so close-minded these days. Everyone's so close-minded these days now. Like, fuck, dog. As this, are we really gonna have to go down to this bullshit? Are we really gonna have to go down this bullshit? So then it all led up to this part. People calling out, oh, like the lolly content, which, like, there's many other animes that don't have lolly or fan service, right? There's many animes that don't have lolly or fan service, and you're gonna, Anya Forger, it like could be considered a lolly, but I have my right, I have my opinion to say no, that's a fucking kid. Whereas Uzaki-chan is a lolly. Psycho Yonabayashi is a lolly. I would even confront every one of you when I say Chloe von Eisbern is an actual lolly character. Because if you look at the story or learn the backstory in the Fate franchise of Chloe von Eisbern, Jack the Ripper, Ilya von Eisbern, Shuten Doji, they're all amalgamizations and apparitions of just the spirit of the person, divided by the rhythm or by the symbolism that they provided. So Chloe von Eisbern can manifest to a man. Jack the Ripper can manifest to a giant devil, like you just see in Fate Strange Fate, or back to a child. Fucking there, I don't know how many sabers are there. It's an alternate universe. Shuten Doji is non-human. It's a non-human demon only girl, and she's petite, a lolly too, because it means a body type. Yes, it's true. Yes, there is on the one half of things, yes, it means child. But mind you too, there's a lot of, most Japanese women are literally on the 4-foot side, and they don't crack. They have, right? They don't crack. Literally. That's just the biology of Japan over there. Asians don't age until they reach 60. Honestly. So they look, and the nutrients there, the culture there is what it is. But then right? However, that red line came out. Hearing that, right? On one hand, you guys should agree with me on this, right? Remember, I'm not speaking against my people. I'm not speaking against my people, okay? Even though I'm not accepted culturally by my people. I hail from the neurodivergent community. I'm neurodivergent who is ADHD and mild autism, right? Yes, I don't abide by the culture. I abide by the values that I grew up in the family of Latinos. So I'm still part of their side, technically, in some way, even if they don't accept me. All right? Mind you that. But there was, the population they're being introduced to Japan, because it's so different from the West, are now calling out for no reason about that call. And then my people, and then the Latino people, whether depending on what the type of Latino people they are, either a castizo, Mon-Thu, which is an existent mestizo group in Ecuador, which is where my family comes from, and I am from. I'm American Ecuadorian. I'm American of Ecuadorian descent, right? Who are, right? It depends on the culture of that, or you're indigenous, right? And people have, I don't know, like it depends on that. And then they had to call out, and they didn't like it, and they say it's redlining. Arabs too saying, okay, that's redlining because you're taking a shower with your own children butt naked. To have some decency, bro. And the other hand, bro, you are a red-handedly a fucking idiot, and you are caught red-handed when you said that out to the Japanese regarding to naked showers and baths, right? And the hot springs. You got yourself wide open because when we go back to age of consent, that right, people for some reason are so terrified that the age of consent at one time was 13 years old, now it's 16, right? But people are still terrified for some fucking reason, right? Mind you, the countries that they're defending, they think they're aligned with, free Sudan, right? Free Nigeria, free Yemen and Nigeria. There's countries there like those two countries and countries just like them. The age of consent is down to 11 to 6 years old. It goes both ways. But for some reason, Japan's called the pedophile nation, while their country really is the pedophile nation. So they're bringing double. So the call out is so live. It's so live. However, on the other side, yes, Japan will never. Most Japanese people do not know the war crimes against China, right? They do not know the war crimes against China. They need to literally apologize for the war crimes against China, against what they did to China. They had to. And of course, yes, there are some Japanese people out there, and white people too, need to stop being arrogant about assuming that just because there's a crime being committed by migrants and by the men who did that completely generalizes all of us. And you stereotype us with your power in the face of media, bro. There's already been how many crime movies already about Latinos or South America? God knows how many times in America, bro. Countless times. Countless fucking times, bro. Countless fucking times. Especially that Clint Eastwood movie when it comes to, right? There was Clint Eastwood. There was about where there was a immigrant family who are like, I think Hmongs, yeah, like Southeast Asians or so, but they were Asians, right? They were just Asians or probably Koreans, who knows? And Clint Eastwood, his main character, was supposed to be like this racist white guy who doesn't like, other neighbors and other cultures, right? And somehow he saved this girl from being targeted by Latino communities. So that, and it helps the same trope going. Whites and Asian, what is it? Code Monkey. Hey, homie, I came for the art and stuck around for the conversation. I gotta bounce. I'll catch you up next time. All right, dale, boss. Blessing, dog. Blessing. We'll be talking. I'll probably bring more about this topic later on. I don't know when. But thank you, bro. Thank you for being part of my stream. All right. Yeah, like back to what I was saying, right? Like this pattern going on, right? So what Gran Torino, that's the movie. Thank you. Code Monkey says Gran Torino. That's the movie. Thank you. Yes, the movie Gran Torino. You see that, right? It's supposed to be a movie just about the main character, protecting an Asian family, right? But what happened is that the fandom and the community around Gran Torino popped, kind of like didn't do it, but it was a subliminal segregation. Yes, there was in that movie like an Asian Hmong gang that was talking shit to the Cholo gangs. There was Asian gangs. Yes, there was Asian gangs. There was like there was also villain groups just like in the school movies, right? I talked about that. but it had that pattern on and on and on and on and on and on and on. You know what I mean? I kind of lost count because I was busy drawing, and then I was looking at our YouTuber talking about it. Ooh, I didn't think that way. No, yeah, I should. But okay, back to my topic. Back to my topic. Fuck. Uh, back to my topic. um, yeah, that movie came to be. Now it really wasn't really about that, but he was also finding out cholos, he was finding out black people and all that stuff. But the same thing goes on and on and on. Especially again, the culture. It was supposed it was like I said again. It was once cultural, now it became racial because people been fighting patterns over and over again, from black Viltrumites to the piracy of Latin America to to the camcorder and racial stereotypes of Southeast Asia to the scammings and the migrant crisis that's happening both in Europe and East Asia, and created the and had that community radicalized. It had radicalized. Like I said, it had radicalized an entire population, mind you, too. Yes, and it had like a lot of. It's been said that there's a lot of radicalization that's going on due to this kind of stuff. I mean, there was a recent there was a recent shooting in the mosque in Los Angeles that had like a white Hispanic kid and a white kid just shot up the school in general. They literally just shot the school up. No, they shot a mosque. They shot up a mosque, and then they killed themselves for after that. So that goes out to that way. And it's tiring. It's tiring. So I should say, so like I said, so to me, my opinion, like people really are now at an edge where they really want to vent out. We're not it's now at an edge due to the propaganda in X, due to the propaganda even on the TV. Yes, on the TV, due to propaganda everywhere. On the music, oh my God, to even the music scene, they're bringing that propaganda in. But most likely in the anime community, and the anime community too. Most likely in the anime community, because of the tourists, and now people calling each other hood weebs, or other guys calling them chuds and all that shit. Now to racial slurs and stuff. With black Twitter and black anime YouTube, have to go back. Oh my God, too. There's even there's grifters on both sides, man. Grifters on both sides, yo. It's gone hectic. It's gone hectic. It's really gotten hectic, and has led up to this. It has led up to this. Yes, there are people on the opposite side of the spectrum. There are whites and Asians defending us. There's a lot of whites and Asians, protect, trying to make things right. And there's a lot of us blacks and Latinos, absolutely 100% lots of blacks and Latinos, black and brown people on the other side defending the freedom of expression, right? Defending the freedom of expression to, for art, because that's what it is. Everything is art, right? And if it could give you a mean reaction, it could give you a soft reaction, whoever it is, right? But you can never take art way too seriously, and people are defending on that. There's literally people defending on that. Did I? Oh shit. Oh hell. Lord have mercy. Okay, right here. Maybe I should do it. Maybe I should do it. Fuck it. Maybe I should do it. Maybe I should do it. I can do my own version of Subaru Natsuki. I mean, this is my art style, so this is my art style, so I can do whatever the fuck I want. Hey yeah, yeah, hey yeah, is make it way. Well, your wicked way. Ugh, I mean, it's so jaggy. This, but I can't. I can't. Should I or not? I don't know. It's jaggy, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Oh damn! I forgot this hairstyle. Oh wow! I'm not drawing Natsuki Subaru anyway. Good. Okay. No, yeah. I am completely disinformed, outformed his hairstyle. Oh shit! But I'm drawing him my style. I'm too many scratches. So yeah, like I'm continuing. Yeah, like I'm continuing to this. So it has led to that, right? Within and the patterns of that stuff. I mean, shit, man. People are trying to make a reason of what's like of how to keep things mature, and both sides of the coin don't want to listen. I separate fiction from reality, but also to mind the boundary of how of what you like and what you push yourself to like about you know because you have because there's some people in the fucking blue archive community literally are going way too hard on their cute and funny likings, and for them that's just putting a bad image to them and literally giving the tourist the proper ammunition, saying y'all niggas pedophiles, you know. But yet again, the word pedophile has becoming so watered down, right? The word pedophile has becoming so watered down now that real pedophiles are escaping. However, you cannot, you also have people who are victims of that, like Schlep, who was a white kid who was catching child predators, and he himself was a victim of that, is doing his best, and had no right to be called out by Chibi reviews. And I would side with Chibi reviews on that part, that you're calling slept like pathetic and shit, I would not say that to him because he was a victim of actual of being of an actual predator on Roblox. I would not that I don't stand by. However, I do stand on the other stuff. You separate fiction from reality all the time, all the time. When it's Mushoku Tensei, whether it's you know, Zenless Zone Zero, whether it's Free Ren, whether it's One Punch Man, which is hilarious. Thinking there's literally tourists, anime tourists of One Punch Man who love One Punch Man would literally consider Yusuke Murata as pedo bait. Who no, literally consider Tatsumaki. All right, mind you, a 28-year-old lolly character, right? Legal age. She's petite. She's very petite, and petite women do exist. Consider that as pedo bait. Hilariously, right? And yes, there's the tourists who are of the pride flags, but the ones who go way too expressive of that shit is black and brown, bro. Black and brown. And the ones, right? And the baddest and the most horror apples who sadly are the ones on the front lines defending Tatsumaki, who we all defend Tatsumaki as she's petite because petite women matters, but the first ones who respond back to those tourists are the racist whites and Asians. Again, like I said, in general, what's happening is that again, we don't like there's a huge cultural difference. The huge cultural difference that's happened that we're seeing point blank, you know, on the way of the custom of, you know, of anime, of podcasts, of the, you know, the drip, the slangs, you know, or something like the cultural kind of like opinions when it comes to like anime or manga or the aspects or perspectives of what the person likes to see and what the person don't like to see. You know, there's this big cultural or sometimes even just close mind, but most of the time, yeah, just tourist close mindedness on that on both sides too, right? I like Bleach. You don't have to say, bro, Bleach is mid. All right, that's your opinion. Okay. And like, bro, are you a tourist? Nigga, I'm not a tourist because I've been watching anime since I was 5 years old, right? Don't label anybody who just watches, who, you know, watched Naruto when he was, what, 10 years old, then a tourist. No. You're going to assume that? No. How about you? Right? They're at the same, you're gonna call others gonna call each other. Oh, you're like the Viltrumites and all that. Like again, it's all culture, and even the interactions on YouTube, the drifts. Oh my god, yeah. Like there, there was black YouTube having a beef with white YouTube on these two YouTube accounts, and then one responded to the other about that. And you see the grift. You see the grift on those sides. I mean, the ones are not intoxicated by that grift. It's gonna have to be the theme park news or the BattleBots community, right? The BattleBots community. That's the last one's not been grift. But mind you, I bet you right now, the moment if we see a black uh engineer or a right or a dark brown engineer, which there are. Actually, there are black and brown engineers in the BattleBots community, right? A good majority. But mind you, those people, right? The community, whenever they bring about something that like, I guess is part of the music or the lifestyle they show that's too loud, that's very loudmouth wise. Can you imagine the racism that's that'll be happen so stupidly. That would be so pointless, bro. I mean, there was really racial comments about the host contender on BattleBots when he's like, "It's robot fighting time." That guy, right? He said, "Well, where's the original dude? Where's the original dude? Not him. What the fuck? Who's this guy, bro? He looks like a pop star." Like secretly trying to say the N word, hilariously. Secretly trying to say the N word, or gamers like that, you know. But in return, is the same thing with with the Black Panther thing, with the Black Panther like controversy. With when they cast or when they're Ryan Gosling apparently is being casted as the Black Panther as a white guy, and they're like, "Yo, what the fuck? Who's this white boy?" Because that's what it is the program. Like we're being manipulated, 100%. We are being manipulated all the way by by the by the fat cats, by the 100 families. Billy Carlson, right? Billy Carson said it clearly. 100 families are controlling 8 billion people, which led to this which led to this rivalry, bro. That's what it led to. 100 families are controlling 8 billion people now. And it's not going to stop, and it keeps growing. It keeps growing and growing and growing and growing. And therefore that created like the right wing groups in the anime community. Yes, there's hard left groups that have infiltrated our video games. Yes, we're talking about video games as well because of the the blackwashing and the LGBT in the video games and gotcha, especially on like Gears of War. They're trying to make it that way. They're trying to make it that way with like God with God of War. They're trying to make it that way on that stuff, right? And it's getting tiring, bro. It's getting right. Man, gamers. When we all know like people who play games, they're gonna say like racism in Xbox Live is so natural at the time. Remember, you would hear people say the N with the hard R N word, the R slur, word all the time. People would call each other, the C words, the two C words, the whip whoosh, C word and the other C word, and then of course the spick, the wetback kind of word, and even if you're a Native American, there was they will mock you for being a part of like saying, "Oh, we colonized you and shit." They always say shit like that. Everybody will say shit like that, like in Call of Duty. But now we've got things starting to cater to, literally cater to the identity of the minorities and shit. So now it's like, oh my god, now people are starting to grift. Or yeah, there's one. On you. Okay. All right. Whew. I think that is it. Oh, not really. I don't want to. I want to keep going till I reach at least 30 minutes. 30 more minutes. Let's see. All right. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. What am I saying? All right. 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 Nah, 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 nah. Ah, shit. Think. I would say, okay, I was saying. No, 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 no. Ooh, no, 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 no. Doggy, no. Should I should have used the warp tool on my sketch, but it is what it is. Yeah, it is what it is, man. I already reached 9:30. It was supposed to be 9:40, but I started very early on the stream because of the connection. All right, I think that was it for now, guys. All right, guys. All right, all right, all right. It is amazing. Thank you for Code Monkey 9 for keeping me company. Thank you everybody else who also saw the stream. I mean, already it's time. I know my streams are supposed to be 7 p.m. to 9:40, but because problems with the connection and the loss of internet and that is happening simultaneously, so that I had to stop. That I had to kind of like find another time, another schedule to kind of put that. So I'm just putting that as what it is. My streamings are like Monday through Thursday, but I also now do it. I did Friday to try to make it up for it and all that good stuff. I did my just this like the first parts. Remember my ReZero illustration is gonna be time by time by time by time. Now, like I said it in our topic of this stream, when I said culture war is becoming racial over anime video games, now you know the whole conclusion to this and about this the situation that's happening. Our situation is that it's happening. With this pattern that's happening simultaneously over and over and over again. You know that fucking how like the mainstream, we having this frame ever since the auto translate came out with Elon Musk, and Twitter X, that also now is also coming up with in Instagram, a meta on right, sorry, oh my god, I twitched again, oh my god. Okay, let me say this. Now you know the whole thing about this culture, that how still to this day is still cultural, right? But with the tensions that has been brewing up, and the people catching notices, and of course the locations, to remind you, the locations on Twitter X, locations on Reddit, that's even outside of Reddit to YouTube, that's happening in social media, now has become, unfortunately, tragically racial now, because of these specific reactions, and people are catching up online, right? Because ever since the internet has become to form this norm, that now people wanted to search for everything, but now people are searching other informations throughout there. Now people are searching behind their backs on this stuff. Again, this is the most tribalistic shit on possible. It's the most tribalistic, but we are exposed to you of just, we're all human as well. This whole thing is about being being human, being human. I mean, if imagine if aliens come down and start making their own profile pictures, right? And then make their own shows that represents them. Right? And then they talk shit on us, and talk shit on us human beings in general, right? How will we respond to them? We will respond back at them right from the get-go. We will unite. It would actually unite us. I think what COVID did was it locked down everybody else, and so to get to grant the things, so to realizing of what they're that we're all one human. What I felt like, and I know this sounds fucked up. It's gonna sound fucked up. I think the pandemic brought everyone together. I know that sounds like an introvert praising a fucking pandemic. I know that because of this point on, because even before that, we were still going at each other's throats, saying racial slurs or saying cultural slurs and all that kind of bullshit, right? But after the pandemic, everyone went back to their sites of what happened. But now this time with being exposed to the niche things. You remember, yes, yeah, the furry community, the anime community, the comic book community, the nerdy stuff, the bike life, the social media niches. We're around for a long time. We're really around for a long time, but it's stabilized and niche. While then, when the pandemic happened, the normies came in and infiltrated our culture, infiltrated the hobbies, infiltrated the likings of things, infiltrated everything that we were bullied for. We were all bullied for, we were all hated for, we were all roasted for. We even roast each other out for, just because of our likings, right? Now they have seeped in. And yes, of course, the woke left came in, but also the puritanical nationalist right wing left. Those two never died out. Ever since the late 2010s that happened with the alt-right that used to thrive around with Richard Spencer, that with his rise time, and including and their podcast too on that time, that was still alive, now has infiltrated to anime, trying to make anime right wing, when it really wasn't right wing. If they really saw the LGBT animes that was made for the LGBT, they would flip out. But however, on the other hand, where our animes that are traditional, for straight, right, original, are being infiltrated by woke pandering politics, who are trying to put their gay shit into to animes that already exist, trying to race swap and trying to blackwash, and then call and get claimed that we're racist for calling that out, that saying that is racist and all that stuff. It's just it's madness. It's stupid madness, bro. As a person who is neurodivergent, who I was completely secluded out, completely castrated from society, just like many of the neurodivergent communities out there, I'm the normal guy, unfortunately. I happen to people like the nerd who are ADHD and mild autism are actually much normal than the normies who call themselves, normal people. The people out there are the freaks, are the weirdos, are the retards. I never like saying that word, but rightfully so on both sides. On both sides, including inside the anime community who are fucking extremists, are straight up retarded, right? And straight up weirdos for going into that shit. Bro, be mellow. Learn to be mellow on various things, bro. I don't want you to try to push into that gay fucking My Hero transgademia fucking shipping with Bakugo and a transgender fucking Deku blackface or blackwashed transgender Deku on my original My Hero Academia, but at the same time, don't push. On the other hand, too, don't try to put your fucking Nazi flag on your lolicon content and push it to the other on my face too. Like cute and funny. Hey, I have characters who are petite too, but you're also pushing out so hard on the level about your lolicon and Shotokan shit with Nazi flag and Christian flag and Israel too, and saying, bro, you're just exposing yourself in one way or another. The other hand, not like the others. Well, you're literally exposing one way or the other, bro. Like, bro, what you doing? What the fuck you really doing? Come on, bro. Like, primal shit. Primal shit. I think what is to be is that in anime, when it comes to this, that's now came to this point, aside from social media, is look, if you really want to vent out your vendetta once and for all right, let's do it. Go ahead. But mind you, that it's your fault they want to start the riots. This whole fiasco that's going on online, and it's going on in real time. And it's going on real time that led to this. I'm not talking about just the mosque shooting and school shootings, but also like other stuff like the migrant crisis, the migrant crisis, the crimes that happen right now, the teen takeovers. Yes, the teen takeovers, the high school bullying, the drug politics that's happening in Latin America, the dictatorships in Latin America, all led to that stereotype that the other side is better than the other. And all had now led to even the infiltration of pop culture that's gone political. That many YouTubers are trying to stop this from. Please follow guys like Espiritu. Please follow people like Monty Sensei. Please follow me. Okay? Please follow me. Please follow Polynesian streamer Brox. He's so wholesome. Super wholesome. Right? Please follow not Thosh Collins, but there was another. Please follow Kaka TV. Those people are in the middle. We're in the center of things. You can follow Sero's TV. You can follow his Chibi reviews all you want, right? But it's not like they are your prophecy. Okay? Matter of fact, what else to do is imagine. Okay, matter of fact, what I'm thinking too. If you guys want to start the race war, right? Like a physical race war, perhaps you can. Yeah, no way. Yeah, there is one. It's stupid. LARP battles. It's LARP battles. Like the live action role playing. Yet LARPing has been also overused too. But yeah, fuck it too, bro. like I said again, LARP, whatever. Like I said, back to what I'm saying, okay? This is going back to LA 92. This whole fiasco is going back to LA 92. All the way. Where it was what was supposed to be a black versus white thing because the police officers until the death of Latasha Harlins led to the black and Asian thing, but in reality was Latinos too were also involved because of the gang culture and as well the gang police brutality that was happening. That happened and it became cultural, right? And it became racial actually. Rooftop Koreans. Now, here we are. Here we are. Back to this. You know? From what I can say, hey, my name's Element Reptile. I'm an artist, illustrator, graphic designer. I hope you enjoyed this stream. We see each other next time. You blessed, baby.
Tell me that you need me, like I need you. I keep dreaming, but my dreams keep flying away. A song we're far beyond. Keep chasing them and I never